when I was in corporate America, it was a white male who saw something in me, right? Saw that, wow, she's really good at her job. She just needs the access to shine. She just needs the opportunity. And he gave that to me. And it really changed the trajectory of my career. And I'm forever grateful. And so for me, access is so important.
Tell me about that person. How did you feel seen? How did you feel supported? How did you feel encouraged by him? What did he do to kind of open that door?
Yeah, I was in my former life, and I was oftentimes many of us get this advice of work hard and keep your head down,
Right.
right? And so I was working hard and keeping my head down, but I realized that I needed to be building social capital in the workplace. And even though I didn't work with anybody that looked like me, and I was one of the youngest people at the company I worked at, I thought, well, maybe I could find some people with similar values, right? Maybe
Right.
we don't have to look the same, but maybe there's some other area of intersection that I could lean into. And I worked on the floor with the second most senior man at the company. And I thought, well, I know that he's probably never going to come over to my cube and tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, what's going on?
Right.
So I realized that I had to start to build relationships with him with the different points of entry that I had. And over time of building this relationship with him, I was able to talk about the work I was doing, and I was able to tell him some of my career aspirations. And one day, Michael, he was in a senior staff meeting with everyone who looked like he did, right? And there was an opportunity that was on the table, and he said, I think Minda could do this. And everybody in the room was like, we don't know her. She's too junior, all of the things. And he's like, I vouch for her. I think she could. She just needs the opportunity. And everyone in that room said, no, 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 no. And he said, no, if it doesn't work out, it's on me, right? I got this call, Michael, out of the blue, and he's like, kid, here's your shot. Don't ruin it, right? And so I nailed it. I hit it out of the park, and my career changed from that moment forward. 3 months later, I was promoted, had these different
Yeah.
opportunities that I didn't have because he saw me, even when people said, no, she's to this, she's to that, right? Just like Rufus, right? But we have someone who said, hey, prove people wrong.
How would you coach someone like me to be an ally to support women of color in particular, because that's your key focus, to have more opportunities to take that seat at the table? What should we be doing or not doing that we might be missing at the moment?
Exactly what you're doing is building relationships, right, with each other. I think sometimes we might say, well, I don't have anything in common with this person, or I don't know how to talk to this person. I hear a lot of leaders will tell me, well, I don't know how to manage women of color. I'm like, it's just like managing anybody else. You just have to, but you have to get to know them, right?
Right.
You have to ask the questions. There might be some different cultural nuances that you need to educate yourself on so that you can have these certain conversations. But I think three things: listen, which people have the opportunity to do through our conversation.
Hmm.
Number two, educate, right? Read books like The Memo, read other books that talk about people who don't identify the same way as you do. And then third, activate, right? After you've educated yourself, how do you activate some of the things that you've heard? And I think part of that is building those relationships, because once you get to know people, you can show up for people better, right?
Right.
But oftentimes we don't have these relationships, and it's hard to show up, or you feel like, oh, I'm overstepping. But there are ways that we can start to build those relationships. Just with the gentleman that I mentioned in my story, he didn't know everything about me, right?
Yeah.
But he knew my work. He knew enough to be able to say, oh, I think we should give her an opportunity. And I think that we all have the ability to speak someone else's name in the room.
I love that phrase. Speak somebody else's name in the room. Bring somebody who's not in the room into the room so that they can begin to build a presence in that room. That's powerful. Hey, it's MBS here. If you've got a question you'd like me to try and answer for you, two ways to send it. Either drop it into the comments below or email me directly at teammbs@mbs.works.